Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beauty Topics podcast. I'm your host, Chantel, and I have a wonderful, amazing guest on my couch today. Another lovely lady from Vera Hair Co.
Oh my goodness.
This is Miss Yumi Nguyen, and I'm so excited to have you here. I've been following you on Instagram, and everybody spoke so highly of you, like Ione, Jay, Tanya. Everybody just loves you over there, and there just seems to be such a camaraderie of like women all just like being bosses together, but having your own individual businesses. And I love it, and I'm here for it. So I just wanted to have you on here. So thank you so much for coming.
It's such an honor to be here.
She's so tiny, y'all. If you're watching this on YouTube, she's so petite. She's so beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty.
Thank you.
Skin is like flawless. Goodness gracious, you're so pretty. Oh, here, I'm going to move this just a little bit closer for you just because you're so tiny.
Thank you. I know. I think I forget how tiny I am because I don't feel tiny at all, right? Like,
Yeah.
Just being around so many amazing, talented, and supportive women.
Yeah.
Like, I never feel small.
Yeah.
Even though I'm the smallest in the salon. I think it's also because like I'm the older sister in my family.
Okay.
So I have like older sister mentality. So I've never felt small.
Yeah. Well, you're not small. She's petite.
Oh yeah.
That's all. She's petite. She's not small. Because it's like,
too.
I'm 5'4", and then when you walked in, I was like, oh wait, she's she's shorter than me, because most people are not shorter than me. So I'm like, oh my goodness, you're very petite, but I love it. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, my dear?
Okay, I am from Pensacola, Florida originally. I moved to Houston in 2014 with my best friend too. So that's where me and Amy have a lot of things in common. We ran away from home. And I just fell in love. I honestly didn't think it was a permanent thing.
Oh, okay.
I really wanted to live in the city. I wanted diversity. And I think as an Asian American, I just craved seeing someone that looked like me.
I'm with you, girl.
And just people that look different and like being so immersed in the cultures here. We didn't have that in Florida. So that's what really made me stay is you come visit and then your people are your roots.
Yes, that's right. You find your tribe and then you're like, wait a minute, maybe this is my new home. Maybe this is it. Yeah.
My original background is actually nails. My parents had 2 nail salons growing up.
Oh, wow.
And I've always helped out in it. And then I got my nail license, and it was also always my part-time job with school. And being an Asian American, the emphasis on school is so important.
Yes.
And it was always top priority. But I think once I got a little taste of freedom in Houston, I was like, student loans?
I'm out.
I don't want student loans anymore.
I'm with you.
Because in Florida, I had scholarships. And then we had a transfer over here. I was fortunate enough to pay like community college on my own doing nails. And whenever it was like you had to transfer into the big universities, and I guess I'm a numbers girl. And I sat down and I was like, oh my God, I have to make this much. And it felt so unsure.
Yes, I hear you.
And then I had my friends who were in college and they seemed all so stressed out. My clients who did hair were always so fashionable, happy.
Yes.
When you're just in, like, when you're in your passion, it just feels like you're in your light, and you don't have to move any direction. It just organically brings you towards there.
Yes.
And so they're like, how about you just go to Paul Mitchell for a year? If you don't like it, school's always there, Yeah,
it's not going anywhere. Give it a shot. Oh, I love it.
And I was like, you know what? I do love, I also love makeup. And so I went, and my friends at that time, they all wanted blonde hair. And I felt like, oh, no one's doing like dark hair transformation blonde in one day. And that was my challenge. That was my problem. I really wanted to do that. So I kept doing it, and I just couldn't stop, honestly.
Wow. Everybody wants to be blonde in the summer. I'm sure your business is about to explode. I bet you're slammed every summer. But that's amazing that you said, okay, look, I need to try this, to go ahead and just take the leap and do it, because I'm with you. I'm very much a numbers person too. And my oldest is in college right now. And we're adamant about making sure, well, she's very, very smart. She got scholarship money and grants and all these things. And, but we were adamant about making sure would never want any of my children to be drowning in debt for education. That's something that my husband and we are adamant about, like, paying for and taking care of. So I completely understand, because I have seen the stress and the anxiety that people go through when they have hundreds of thousands in student loans. It's like you graduate with it and you already owe a mortgage and you don't have a place to live and you don't have a job. It can be terrifying. It can be like give you crippling anxiety. So I totally get that. And I just wanted to make sure that, none of my children had to experience anything like that. So I feel you 100%. And kudos to you for like doing nails and paying for community college yourself. Get it, girl. You always had you always had the spark then. That means it was always there.
It was all, I don't know if it's considered first generation or second generation. I feel like I'm like 1.5 generation here, because I'm very American enough to be independent and live by myself. But then I'm very Vietnamese, where family is such like 90% of my life. And I always consider them. And I'm very much tied to them, even though I'm 9 hours away, 8 hours away. I'm very much tied to my family. And my dad's health teeters up and down ever since he was about 35 years old with cancer.
Okay.
And so he was always been in the back of my mind, I guess, like driving my decisions. And I just like felt like, what if something happens to him? I have to go home, take care of my parents. Yeah. And with like so much school debt on my back while going to school. Yeah. But I think everything happens for the best. He's in remission right now, and I'm in like the career of my dreams. Yes. So God works like his ways.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that he's in remission.
Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. My mother-in-law is too. And it's such a relief. And it's because they're going through it, but we go through it mentally with them too, and the stress and the toll it takes, that you're trying to keep yourself upbeat because you want to keep his spirits up. And it's a very difficult thing to go through, especially with it being, your father. So, wow, I'm so glad that he's doing better.
But that's amazing. I have a 3-year-old, so that's been his little cheerleader.
Oh, that's it, girl. Once they have the grandbabies, their whole life, their whole mental state shifts.
They've been promoted. Yes. And he takes his job seriously, so it's so fun to see that.
Yeah, I just feel like once they become grandparents, they just go crazy. I had a client actually asked her, I was like, when you became a grandma, did you lose your mind too? She was like, oh yes, completely lost my mind. She's like, I don't say no anymore. She's like, I just, whatever they want, I just can't help but to give it to them. I just want them to have everything, and I'm just like, it's so amazing. Maybe one day I'll be lucky enough that it'll happen to me and I'll lose my mind too. Yes, I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm like, there's no boundaries they won't cross. No, it doesn't matter what you say, they're all about them.
And they're so good to their grandparents too. Yeah. So honestly, it's mutual. Aww. I think like I love it when I feel so blessed to see my generations be able to, witness each other. Yeah. Because I didn't have a grandparent growing up.
Oh, you didn't?
They're in Vietnam. Like, I didn't.
So far away, that you can't have this closer connection as you want.
I met them again when I was 22.
Oh my gosh.
Since I was 2 to 22.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my goodness. So your son is 3 now.
My daughter's just made 3.
Just made 3.
She shares a birthday with Ione.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so shout out to Ione. Nicole. Pisces. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's 3. That's amazing. So you got through the terrible 2s. How's this 3 journey going?
She was never terrible.
I love it. See, my daughters at 2, they weren't either. My son was something else, but the girls were perfect.
I think because I was I didn't want to be a mom, and I was an anxious mom, and so I feel like God, he went easy on me. Yeah, she's the best baby, and she's like so good. Yeah, I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I have so many blessings, and she's one of them. So easy, so chill. Sometimes I feel like she's here to watch me.
You know what? Sometimes you just feel like they're born and they just have this little old soul. Right. Yeah, I felt like that with my oldest. She just had this little old soul, and she was just like the perfect. I know people, you shouldn't say that your kids are perfect, but she was. She was perfect child. Like never gave any issues. She was so sweet to her siblings. Literally absolutely perfect. And they would say, though, a lot of people say, well, your first baby is your trick baby. And they're like, because that one convinces you to have more, because you're like, oh my God, this is so easy. She's so smart. She potty trained literally in one day. Like, she's incredible. Oh, like I could do this 10 more times. And then that second baby comes and you're like, oh Lord, what's wrong with this one?
Please save me. I didn't want to level up like this.
So tell me a little bit about your experience at Paul Mitchell.
Oh my goodness. I went to Paul Mitchell because I felt like in Houston, all the successful stylists that I feel really popped off within 1 or 2 years went to Paul Mitchell.
Okay.
That was just my like observation, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because it's such a big investment that you have no choice but to be successful.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I think Paul Mitchell gave me a lot of free range. Like my instructors were also very young. And I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do this, you know? And they never strayed me away from experimenting. And I think that's helped a lot with my portfolio.
Nice. They didn't try to crush your creativity and keep it so technical that they took the fun out of it. Okay. Yeah, that's important though.
And I think like I'm just not very much of a rule follower anyway. So there's sometimes would give me this way, but I learned somewhere something different. I'm like, well, I'm going to try it this way. Anyway, and it always worked. Because I think like with blonding, traditional blonding, it's done usually on traditionally already blonde people.
That is so true. That's what like really I was hyper focused on your page, like all the dark to light transformations, just because me being a dark haired person, I'm like, you get them so ashy, and it looks like healthy. How the hell do you do that?
It's time, formulation, and product knowledge. Okay. I feel like. And also you have to understand that to communicate with your client about their hair density, their hair texture, it's not just the color. Right. You know, like one person can have dark color, but their hair density is finer. They would get blonde easier. And then one person either with lighter hair, but the hair is coarse, or the strand of the hair has certain things like it's clogged or it has a lot of product built up. Even though the hair is lighter, it might interfere with the process too. Okay. So there's a lot of like factors that go into blonding. Yeah. Especially if you want it done right and if you want like to be super, super, super blonde. So I think that like fascinates me a lot. It's like a little puzzle. Yeah. And I have learned throughout the years that to communicate with my clients in my language. You know, because when you're really passionate about something, it just clicks. Yes. Right? Yes. And to communicate that to your client, like, this is what it takes, this is why, this is what products that you need, and this is why I'm doing it, that was a skill that I had to really hone because for me, I'm like, why don't you get it? You know?
So easy. Why you don't get it?
Yeah, like, it's just 1 plus 1 is 2 to me. And I think, like, I'm just really working on my my business skills. I guess because like I'm a doer. Like you give me your picture that you want, and I'll do it. That's how I am. And I think like so many people are. I learn a lot from my Vera girls. I think we learn a lot from each other. Because Limara, she's a businesswoman. You know, like she is amazing, like through and through, and she creates the most like comfortable, drama-free environment for us. So she always is like a breath of fresh air to talk about customer service. She's been in the industry for so long, how to deal with situations. Amy, she's just sunshine. Yes. You know, like
Amy Lou does hair. She's amazing. She's been on pod. I love her.
And it's just her conversations. Like they're so fun. Tanya, she's so sweet. And I just love to have my panel of girls to talk to and say, I did this. How would you have gone about it?
Tanya has that sweet mama spirit. She's grounded. You know, yes, she's very grounded. That's it. That's exactly what it is. She just has this sweetness, and it's very natural and genuine, just about her.
I always joke. I was like, "Can you pray for me?" Because it comes. You know, she's so spiritual and religious, and I'm like, "This week you gotta pray for me, friend." Yes. You know, I forget about it when I get home.
Girl, but I mean, that would be the person though. That would be the prayer warrior that I would want for sure.
Yes, you always say we gotta tell Tanya to pray for us because God listens to her.
Absolutely, because her heart's pure. Yeah, I think that's what it has a lot to do with that. She's just such a sweet person. She is. With you becoming like a blonde specialist, it's such a I don't know. It's almost like I feel like you're a scientist. You know, like. Because you're talking about the formulations and the density and all these things, all the conditions have to be right to get this result. Do you know what I mean? Like, how long did it take you to feel like, or how much training do you feel like you needed to say that now I am a specialist in this? I know you're constantly learning and growing, but like at what point did you feel like, okay, I got this?
I still feel like I'm learning, right? And I still feel like every single client that sits in my chair still has a new challenge. Like sometimes they come back and they have new water conditions, or they put in product, or they're using the new self tanner that's staining their hair. So I think that's what's keeping me always problem solving, and I don't feel like bored in my everyday work.
Yeah.
But I think it's when I can have my formulation just by looking at a picture. Like that, and I'm like, can you give me this picture in a different setting, or if it was in a, like you see this and that, would you be okay with that? And I think that's when I'm like, oh my God, I'm really good at this, because in the beginning of the career, when I was doing nails and hair, and I was trying to do bridal makeup as like an assistant, it was like overwhelming. I think I'm like, I need to pick something that I love and stick to it,
and focus. Having
like all my limbs and everywhere is just stretching me apart. And I really find that I do love the transformation. Like, I sometimes make people too blonde.
Gotcha. You had the kind of whole jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing going on. It's like, I need to pick a focus. Yeah. And it's cool to love everything, but sometimes it's like, what can I actually mentally handle?
Yes.
So I see that aspect of it too. I'm so curious, like with all your like technical skills and your formulations, like how you can look at a picture and say, okay, this is what I need to do. Cause I'm the same way with people. Like I'll look at someone, especially if I'm like shopping or something, I'll go, oh no. You're an NC15 mixed with a touch of an NW20. Like I can look at a face and automatically in my mind, people think that I'm not paying attention to them, but I'm just mixing your foundation formula in my brain when I'm looking. Right. That's what,
That's amazing.
I can't help but do that sometimes, so. But with this, it's almost like you have like this chemistry background.
Vietnamese people say that like whenever you are in a profession too long, you have a third blood, like a blood vein. There's like a saying that's why it just clicks for us, right? Like you and your
it clicks. Hello,
it just turns on vein. Your makeup vein.
I love it. I love that
your
saying.
Beauty vein.
But because I kind of feel like that's true, because it kind of, when you're passionate about it, it becomes like a part of you, and it doesn't feel like work. It's something that you're excited to get up and do every day. And that in itself is a blessing, because if you hate your job, my God, you hate your life.
Oh my God. It's a blessing, but it's a curse for us workaholics, because we cannot say no.
You have to turn it off.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to turn it. And you're a mama, so it's like you have to turn it off and focus on
that's so different
your little ray of sunshine. She needs your time too. So I totally get that. What is the most difficult thing about when you have your client? What's the most difficult thing though when you're doing a formulation to go from so dark? Because I've seen you take jet black to blonde. What's the most difficult part of the process?
The most difficult part of the process is probably the waiting, like the processing process.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to time your formulation and your bleach on different parts of the head, because you want it to process all equally. Or if that's too much, if they just have so much hair and there's no way that you can process it equally, you have to pull the foils, and you have to know where to place them, so whenever you take them out, it doesn't bleed onto the other hair that's not supposed to be blonde.
Oh, good Lord.
So that's the most difficult part. And some of my clients, their hair is so long, I have to use my tray to like put their hair on the tray, and I feel so bad because it's heavy, because all the foils are heavy. Yes. But there's the only way that you can get even saturation and not to have to reapply, which is even messier, is if you do paper thin sections. And I tell them, like this process today will be longer, but you won't have to come back again.
Gotcha.
And then they sit. I just had sitting through that. And, I wish that there was I could give them a TV or something, like when I was in a suite. It made their like time go by a little faster.
Yeah. Hey, everybody's got their phone. Watch your movie on your phone, girl. And wait it out. It's going to be fine.
I got to give him a tablet like my toddler next time.
Yeah. Well, but it's like if you have this end result that you want so bad, it's like it's worth the wait and whatever you have to go through, to get it, especially if you want your hair to still be healthy on the other side of this, because I had a client, bless her heart, she's like, "Can you recommend me somebody?" Because her hair just you could hear it. Like she's like, "I hear it at night. Like it's keeping me up, the crackling because it was so damaged." So I'm like, how could you even come back from something like that? She's like, "Do I have to just cut it off and start over?" Ask her. So I'm asking, girl.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
I take healthy hair blonde, but I think like in the past, it's hard for me to say no, you know? And I just think like you're never happy because once that lightener touched the already hair that's compromised, it just snaps.
Yes.
No matter how much protein, the hair, it's not strong enough or healthy enough or have enough moisture to actually hold in. You kind of have to imagine it like your dry patches on your skin.
Okay.
Right? Like you can buy the most expensive makeup. You can buy skin prep and everything, but if your skin care is the basis is not good, you can't get rid of that texture. So I explained that to them. Yes. I'm like, this is paper. You crumbled it up, and now you want me to color a beautiful painting on it. I can't because it won't hold.
Damn, that was a good one.
So they're like, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, I almost turned. I think my favorite thing about me this year is saying no, and I say that from like the best place in my heart, like with my clients' best interest.
Yes.
It's because when they come back a year later, even though they have shoulder length hair, it's gonna be cut in the 90s layers that they want. Their ends are going to be even. They're going to have the beautiful face frame that they want. I'm like, just endure it for a little bit and you don't have to pay a couple $1,000 for extensions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, absolutely.
Do you want extensions and you want the wind to blow and your weft to be seen, or you want to grow out your real hair that I know you have the potential to grow?
Yeah. And once that damage is done, it's like.
And they're so excited. I think it's just like if they stick with me, and if they don't, that's fine too. I just feel better in that with that process than I did in the past when I'm like, I'm a yes girl. Like please, please, please. And then even sometimes they're happy, but I'm not happy. Like they're midway through their end result, but I'm like, oh man, I don't like that.
Yeah, because you're a perfectionist and you want it to be right. When somebody shows you a picture, your goal is to get them to that picture.
Yes.
Or as close as you possibly can in the healthiest way possible.
It keeps me up at night.
Yeah. So what do the consultations look like when someone comes in? Like they book a consult first, correct?
Yes, but I no longer do free consultations because I live far away. And
you shouldn't. It's your time. You still.
So I tell them also because my consultation in person is in depth. Like it's usually for my color correction, for previously dyed hair, or people just have like, their trust issues with a new stylist, which I get. And every consultation online is through text. So send me your hair history, send me a picture of your hair right now in natural lighting, your hair concerns. And I also ask them like, what brought them to a new stylist, because sometimes I really want to weave out people who just aren't satisfied ever, and that I think that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, if I'm your 10th stylist in 6 months, maybe it's not all these different stylists. Maybe that common denominator is you, because maybe your expectation is so unrealistic that it doesn't make sense. Like I can put as much makeup or as little makeup on your face as you want, but I cannot turn you into Halle Berry. Nope. I can't, and people expect that. Well, it doesn't look like this. Well, you're not Halle Berry. I mean, that's just, I'm not either. I would love to look like her, but I don't.
I was like, let me just face tune you real quick.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not going to be. So I get that. I understand the whole thing with the unrealistic expectations. So that totally makes sense to me. Now, what other services, I know you're a blonde specialist. What other services do you currently offer?
I offer keratins. And I guess like hair treatments. I still use the Caraplex, but honestly, just being a blonde specialist keeps me busy enough.
I'm sure, but you do extensions, right?
I do extensions, but I'm still not 100% going to back my extension venue yet because I want to get into cold plasma fusion extensions. And
girl, what is that?
So it's instead of hot glue, it's keratin fused together with a cool glue, but the bonds are so tiny and the release is so easy that I think that that would be my next investment into the services, because I learned wefts, I learned tape-ins,
Yes, I do those.
Yes, I learned eye tips, and I just don't think that like they're easy to wear, and for how much they cost, I just want to really do my research and learn about an extension where I can reuse the hair. There's no heat on it. There's no glue. Like there's no. So that's why I'm learning just to know. But I don't back anything up or advertise to my client unless I would wear it. I want moms to be able to wear it. I want gym girlies to be able to wear it. I want you to sleep in it. I don't want you to be like, oh, you can't take a vacation with your expensive extensions.
Right, exactly.
Like,
can't go to the beach. Don't do this. Don't do that. Yes. Even sleep on your face.
Yeah. No, and then I wore wefts before when my hair was short, and I could not sleep.
So true. So true. Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
It's Houston. It's hot.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh.
And I want something that, I want to wear the extensions where the strand itself can move 360 without being tangled too and dread. Yes. So it's constant research, and when I do perfect it, then I would say that I'm a specialist in that, and I would love to offer that.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to come and try that. I'm so curious because I've never heard of such a thing. Like, I didn't know. I know what you're talking about.
I feel like the beauty industry, there's always something new coming out. Yeah. And then when it's new, like right now, there's a V-Light, the cure. And I think it's so funny because I'm like, it's just hair and nails fusing together, curing with the light, right?
Yeah, curing with the light. Absolutely.
But the only thing about that is you can't reuse the hair.
Oh, well,
So it's so expensive, I think, to not reuse the hair. And I think I'm just like, darn.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the hair is such a big investment and you can't, gosh.
You can't reuse it. And I think also like the top of the hair, when it splits and then it grows down in the middle, I think it would just look like breakage. And on somebody who's already self-conscious about their hair, like I don't want them to feel that way about such a big investment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
I'm an investment girl. Like you invest in your hair, you invest in your clothes, you invest in your purse. They should treat you a certain way. You know, you should get longevity out of everything that you invest in.
That makes total sense because you're absolutely correct. Wow. I can clearly tell like your consultations are extremely thorough because you really break it down. You really break the information down. And that's important for somebody like me who I don't color, I trim, I do extensions for my clients and things like that. But you're I don't know. To me, you're like a scientist. You're like a scientist. And I also saw like you do some coppers and some reds too.
Oh my God, that's new. If you, Gabby, she does a lot of beautiful coppers, and our girl Destiny at the shop, she has beautiful copper hair. And I think that's what inspired me, because when I was copper and red, it was all through accident. Whenever I was young and experimenting with Sally's hair, so, like trying to be blonde, but my hair is so dark that the only thing that I could do is copper, and then the only thing I could do is tone that copper so it's not so red. So I also got that cowboy copper that everyone's doing, which is so funny to me because
I think it's beautiful.
Right, it's beautiful, but when I was young, I didn't know how I got there. Right, it was just like
because for you it was by accident. You were trying to be blonde.
So now it's kind of funny bringing that in, like. To be blonde as a dark hair person, you're breaking a lot of rules, because I feel like in the last 10 years it's a new thing, but the blonding rules weren't made for us. Almost, it felt like it. Like bleach could only go 7 levels. Toners was not ashy enough, or too ashy, too blue, too green. And we had to really like pave our way there. Yeah. Like a Guy Tang. So
yes. Absolutely.
Yes, and Jennifer Slim in Houston, she's teaching classes now, but we've seen before that, like there was not a lot of dark hair specialists.
That's true.
To see that, it's like inspirational that they're really being like noticed for how different it is. Yeah. And also it helps educate the clients too that we have to charge a little bit of premium, because instead of processing for 28 minutes, 30 minutes, you have to process for an hour and 30. To really get that lightener to stick. Yes. And then we have to do it slow because we don't want to shock your hair. And and then seeing that like on social media kind of reassures that they're in the right place and they're not being scammed.
Right.
Too.
Right.
And that was in the past that whenever I would tell someone that and they're not used to that, they're like, what? I got to sit and process for an hour and 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
The application takes 3 hours. Like I got somewhere to be.
Yeah.
So just finding that happy medium, you know, and really sticking with your brand is what I'm trying to do right now. Because before I'm like, yeah, you know, you want to be blonde? Come sit with me. And I would get so much anxiety. Like, you know, I want to do it right. I want to do it right by her. I want to get her out of here in a timely manner. But I want the hair to be healthy and I want it to be the right color. I don't want her to come back for any fixes.
Yeah. But I feel like they would rather sit there. For me, if I'm the client, I would prefer to sit there.
Right.
Girl, look, do what you need to do. Like, I'm not working today. Like, if that is your plan to go be blonde, you should not be saying, girl, I have to be out of here at 3:00. You need to be saying, do what you need to do to keep it healthy. And I will sit here as long as it takes to get to the end result. Because like you said, can you explain what it means to shock the hair?
To shock the hair. Okay, so whenever you put 40 developer, so I noticed that the lightener, if you buy a certain lightener, you have to really pay attention which lightener the limits are. Some lighteners are 5 clay lighteners, some lighteners are 7 to 8, and some lighteners are 9. And I have so many different lighteners in my arsenal just for that, right? Because that's the gas, I think. And then if you want something quick, the 40 is very aggressive. Anything above 20 is really aggressive.
Yeah.
You put that on the hair and it opens the hair cuticle. Just imagine it like acetone. Ooh, you know?
Okay, okay.
It's opening it so you could release the pigments in your natural hair. That's what lightener does. Yeah. And depending on the lightener, some lighteners have extra additives. I use K18 also to protect the hair. It's a molecular repair. So I just explained to my client, it's like extra protein to your hair. Because as much as I try and we can take all the steps, bleaching your hair is damaging.
Absolutely.
And you have to know that, like, you have to have either enough hair, you have to not care enough to be like, it's okay, girl, like, I get it, you know? And whenever you put that in the hair and it opens, it makes your hair so dry. So it's just like very, very strong acetone. You know, it's not being mindful of how it's taking out the color. And I experience that whenever I have that, the hair is so dry, so brittle, even though it's blonde. But if you use a 7 or a 10 or a 20, depending on the hair, sometimes the next time I can even go over with a lightener and it like a low developer and it still lightens just fine. The hair feels, the shine is still there, the moisture is still there. So low and slow is the best way to go for lightener if you want to keep it healthy.
Yeah, like a crock pot, low and slow.
Yes, but if you were to do coppers, it's because there's a limit on how light the hair can go with the ammonia and the color. You can do a 40.
Okay, gotcha.
But with the bleach, because it's taking so much pigment out, doing a 40 would kill your hair.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, thank you for breaking it down. That makes sense. What are some things that they can do at home to keep it healthy and shiny and like in the best possible? Like, what do you, like, before they leave, do you kind of give them a little guideline of what they should and shouldn't do?
I do.
Okay.
So I always tell them to get a gentle hairbrush. And my favorite right now is the Tingle Teaser.
Okay.
So they have it for curly, fine, coarse, and I think normal.
Okay.
I'm just like, I'll just go with the fine because it's softer. But if you have thick hair, then go with the normal. And it just helps kind of go through your tangles and put a hair oil before you go to sleep. Braid your hair if you have super long hair. If you like tend to lay on your hair. And then also moisture. Okay. I think a lot of like in the past, people say don't blow dry your hair. People say don't use like Olaplex. Remember Olaplex was such a big thing, but we found it with me and my other blonding specialist because I'm friends with a lot of them too. And I asked them like, what are your clients using, you know? And they always say like, Olaplex has been breaking our clients' hair.
Wow.
Maybe if you have super damaged hair, use it 1 or 2 times to get your hair back to normal, to get your proteins and strands strong again, and you go straight into moisture, just like our skin, you know? After you fix your skin barrier, then you go to anti-aging and you go to moisture, because there's nothing that gives your hair the flexibility to shine like moisture. So I love Joico Moisture Recovery.
I have it.
Yeah, I love that.
Have it in the, have it in the shower.
I also love Japanese products. Fino is by Shiseido, and it's very affordable. You know,
yes,
they have
I do
all
know.
sorts of lines.
Yes.
It smells so good, and like, I don't think I'm a salon snob. You know, if the ingredients are right, if it fits your hair, anything that can get moisture in your hair, like, I want you to do that. You don't have to buy from me, but you just have to. Haircuts anywhere.
Yeah.
Haircuts. Heat, just use a heat protectant. I really think blondes should use heat. Okay. And I think like there's a wrong and right way to use everything. So in Japan, I heard that everyone blow dries their hair, and that the technology in the blow dryer actually smooths and seals the hair. And I think for our professional blow dryers, because we are so exposed to it, we take it for granted, and we don't get to educate our clients on why our tools are the way they are. But our hair dryers have certain ions that smooth the hair. Right. And if you keep it at a certain distance and use a non-thermal brush, you're not damaging the hair. You're just drying it. Yeah. Because wet hair is the weakest state of hair. So you might not have breakage in the salon, or after you get your hair lightened or colored, your hair is softer. You're laying on your pillows, your cotton pillows that are taking out the moisture, and you get breakage. Yeah, you need to sleep on a silk pillowcase. Yes. I always preach that. I can't preach it enough. Not satin. Satin is not breathable. It's not a natural fiber. You need to sleep on a silk pillowcase. And I just feel like you say with the hair drying, because I'll have so many clients that say, oh gosh, when I go to the salon, get a blowout, it looks so beautiful. When I do it at home, it looks like crap. It's the tools. Yes. It's the tools, for sure. Tools. It's not just the technique of rolling it. It's tools angles. Though. Yeah. I tell them, if you're a lazy girl, I'm a lazy girl. So you always have to do a mask. You know, as long as it's not a protein mask that has a lot of buildup. Even sometimes it's okay to have silicones. Like, you kind of need it to seal your ends. You come out of the shower, wring your hair, spray your leave-in conditioner, and then put it in a microfiber baby towel. So, you know, we have so many baby towels. Absolutely. The microfiber, it fits perfectly for our hair and our skin. I put it in there. I do my skincare. I walk around the kitchen, you know, do my nighttime routine. I drink my teas. And then by the time I blow dry my hair, it's like 70% dry already from the towel. Wow. Out of my face, you know. And I'm like watching my show. That's why I tell my lazy girls, just do that, guys. Because if you're laying on your hair is not out of your back, or you're not drying your hair and going to sleep, the dampness from your scalp is not healthy. It can cause a lot of people think they have dandruff, but I think it's product buildup, like all the moisture from your water. And who knows if your pillows haven't been washed. And water, and then now you have acne, your hair is broken, you know, and frizzy. You need the moisture to seal down your hair. Yes. Because after your hair is smooth, I tell them to go back in with hair oil, braid it loosely, or put it in a silk bonnet if they want. Yep. I'm a silk bonnet person too. I agree with you. Yes. You're speaking all the facts. And my girls that follow that step, their platinum blonde has been 3-4 years. Wow. And I tell them whenever I start their journey, because they're like, I really want to be platinum blonde, roots and no dimension. And I tell them it's really a commitment. But at any time I feel like your hair can't take it, we're going to stop doing it. We're going to do highlights. Wow. And they're like, okay. And they're so, I don't know, they're so scared because I'm so strict on it that they listen. Yeah. And they're like, I'm doing this. You know, sometimes they travel, their hair is not in the best condition. They let me trim it. Also, I'm like, you're going to trim it when I tell you to. It's because
okay, assertive.
Yes. My platinum girls, I have to be assertive because because their hair is all one color. Yeah. There's no room for mistakes. You know? That's so much harder. I didn't even think about it that way. Like when there's breakage, or if you look at somebody who's been they have unhealthy platinum blonde hair, it's always breakage, or they always have a bob. And then my clients have hair down to their waist. You know, that's...
I see it. The platinum, it's here. They've had to cut it, or they have the little I call them chicken pieces.
Yes.
All the little chicken pieces around here, and they're trying to like smooth it down. Yes, girl, it's all snapped up.
It's
all
always
snapped
on the crown
off.
too, right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that is so true. And your clients, yes. if you guys scroll through her Instagram, you will see like the long, luscious, and I was mesmerized by how like healthy that it looks.
Our inspirations, like Game of Thrones.
Yes, Khaleesi, come on, girl.
But I don't know. I feel like it's better than Khaleesi's because it's actually real hair.
Yeah, of course, it's not a wig. Yeah,
and my clients, their braid is so thick. I'm like, you put Game of Thrones to shame because how thick your hair is.
Yeah, but the trims are so important, though, right?
It's so important. And you know what? I feel like also. Those clients go to people and they get so overwhelmed with the amount of hair they have. They don't even want to take them.
Oh.
Or do like, what I do because it takes a long time.
Absolutely. But I'm sure it's hours in your chair. They're
the best. I feel like once they like go through all those people and compare, that's why they stay with me for like 3-4 years.
Oh, I'm sure. They don't want to leave. And they're probably telling you, don't leave, don't go anywhere, because if you leave, then I'm screwed. Yeah, because when you find the stylist that knows your hair and understands your hair and gets you the result that you want, that's like, you feel like that's a family member. Like, you'd be devastated. If you were to say, I'm moving back to Florida, they probably move.
I know.
Or they're like, well, I'm just going to have to take that road trip every 6 weeks because my girl's leaving.
I would be a long distance relationship. I would meet them halfway. Yeah. I think like right now my family wants me to, like my husband's family is from New Orleans, Slidell.
Oh, wow,
I'm just always entwined with Louisiana somehow. Yeah. And they have nail salon too. They want me to come over and take over. And I don't know, like it's just hard to, I think some people call it compromise, but I've always been by myself. Like even in my partnership, I feel a little out of character having my man take me somewhere.
You're just independent woman, girl.
I get scared.
You're a boss chick. Yeah. That's what it is.
I'm like, I would miss my clients. And he feels sad because he's like, it took you 7-8 years to build this community and to really like find your light. And Vera is my light. Yeah. And I love it there. I'm like, oh my God, I just wish I could just clone you guys and take you everywhere with me. And then I could be successful anywhere. Yeah. And if in the past 8 years I've been doing hair, I move every year.
Really?
Yes. And I think like I have met younger stylists that I'm still very good friends with that I guess I kind of coached to stay in the industry. And if I were to ever make a podcast on my own, it would be how you're never bound to the salon. You can grow anywhere. Yeah. I was in the Heights. I was in, I guess, Royal Oaks, like in Westheimer. And then I was in the Galleria. And now I'm in Katy.
Wow. And Katie's your favorite?
Katie's my favorite. I drive 40 minutes to work.
That shows that you love it. That shows that you love where you are because it's worth it.
They drive to me from Clear Lake. They drive to me from Austin. They drive to me from San Antonio. Wow. And I'm like, girl, I drive 40 minutes.
That's such a huge compliment that somebody would come here from San Antonio to get their hair done. Like they're making that 3-hour trek one way. So they're doing 6 hours round trip to have their hair blessed by your fingers. That's a big deal. That's a huge compliment.
Such an honor. Yes. It's such an honor.
Yeah. So I think that person would take a little trip a little further. I'm just saying if push come to shove, I feel like you'd be okay.
In Katy Asia Town, there's incentives. There's so much food around there.
Oh my gosh. Girl, don't get me started. Sometimes we go out there and eat and it's everything's so good. I love to go get,
so authentic.
Just don't get me started. I love to go get the ramen.
See, there's an incentive.
Oh, so good. And I love to go shop for skincare out there. It's so fun.
At Yepo?
Yes. I love to go over there and get skincare. I don't know what any of it is and I'll buy it.
You should check Yes Style.
Okay.
Go to Yepo. Oh, I love Yepo. But if you have to go in for swatches, go to Yepo. Okay. But then Yes Style has better deals.
Okay. I will do that.
Yeah, and it has more range.
I'll go on Friday.
Yes Style's online.
Okay.
So I was comparing prices just yesterday. That's why.
Oh, just comparing prices. See, I love a good deal. Oh, I wanted to ask you, because you were talking about hair oil. What hair oils do you recommend for different hair textures?
If you don't mind a little bit of, I feel like the argan oils, they add a little bit of gold to your hair. Right. I am obsessed with the Lanza Neems oil. Okay. It's very light. It's repairing. You can put it in before and you can put it in after. But it really makes your hair super silky.
Okay.
And it's most important, lightweight.
Okay.
And then another one that I'm obsessed with is the K18 Molecular Repair Cream.
Okay.
It has a little bit of a user, like it's like one of those things that's kind of new, innovative, as in after you shower and shampoo your hair really well, if you can clarify it to get all of the minerals and stuff out, you do 4 pumps, no conditioner.
Okay.
That's what trips people out, because us blondes and people with dry hair are so dependent on our conditioners, and we don't leave the shower without it.
Right.
So you do that 4 times consecutively, and then you can go back to your conditioner.
Oh,
and then
okay.
It's basically just kind of like giving the hair a clean slate so it can absorb all the ingredients in K18 to prepare the hair.
Okay.
And then afterwards, you can go back to your conditioner, because conditioners kind of seals the hair. So people, the product warns us against doing that, because it's like another layer that the product has to go through, and it's such an expensive product. You don't want it to be wasted.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, K18 is not cheap, but I mean, it's effective. I do love the mask.
Yes.
So it's helped with my hair loss. Yeah.
If you guys want me to get you the big one, I can. At the store, it's expensive, but they go through the small one so fast.
Oh, yeah. I hear you. I hear you on that. I run through products because it's me, and then I have 2 daughters, a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old. So hair products in here do not last
not
at all. How often should, a blonde be shampooing? Twice a week, 3 times a week, once a week? Like, what's...
Okay, a new revelation that I discovered for myself, and I have a lot of girl cousins and sisters. That's why I do all of my experimenting on them before
Okay.
And they love it. But is wash your hair in depending on how oily your scalp is.
Okay.
Because my cousin, she washes her hair like almost every day because her scalp is so oily.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then choose the right shampoo for it. And then do your routine, and your hair will still be healthy. Because it's like saying that if you come in for a salon and I shampoo your hair, it's going to be damaged. That's not it. Like it doesn't do anything as long as you keep your hair clean. And if your scalp is more dry and like your hair is more fine, you don't have to wash your hair as much.
Right.
You can go a week or 2. And so I don't set like limits on them anymore. I'm like, how does your scalp feel? What's your lifestyle? If you go to the gym, I want you to wash your hair.
Yes, please.
Use the deep conditioner, blow dry your hair. And sometimes it's like, how lazy are you? Like, do you want to wash your hair? Is your hair thick? And also, like, if there's any skin concerns, like if you have psoriasis, if you have eczema, a lot of the chemicals can be a little bit irritating to you. So I said wash your hair depending on your skin condition.
Okay. And then, but how often do you actually switch to the clarifying shampoo?
I say once a month.
Once a month through the clarifying shampoo. Okay.
And I said, like, if you're like me and you're just like a hair care junkie, like I have all the oils, the serums, maybe twice a month. Whenever you feel like your hair has no more volume.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because blonde hair has so much volume. And I think that's one of the selling points for it, because it's kind of like internal layers. When you have highlights, your hair just automatically sticks up and away from, and it's so airy. So whenever you see that your hair is laying down flat to your hair, either 1, over product, or 2, you need your highlights back, because your natural hair is coming back and the oils from your natural hair strands are coming back. Nice.
And I mean, we hear the yard people outside just going at it. Oh, isn't that lovely? And I also wanted to ask you, there's so many different colors of shampoo out there now. Like I had a client, she was like, there's too many colors, girl. They got a light purple, they got a dark purple, they got a platinum cover, they had the silver one. Now there's a navy blue shampoo. She's like, what the heck? Shampoo is for what color is for whom? Like platinum should be using what shade of shampoo, or like, how do you, because a layperson going in the store, they're just going to get so overwhelmed. She just walked out. It's too many colors.
Oh man. I think that I love Lanza Silver shampoo if you really like the overtone look.
Okay, gotcha.
Because some people, like, their hair does get oily, or their color naturally gets brassy. And then if you feel like your hair, if you see orange, then go with the deeper tones, the
Gotcha.
deeper shampoo. Mm-hmm. And also, whenever you pour the shampoo out, if you get to, and it's thick, and the pigment is thick, it's a good purple shampoo.
Oh, okay.
You're getting a lot of punch, you know, and then you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. But also, just because you're using purple shampoo, don't skip out on your moisture shampoo.
Okay.
Because one is just for toning. That's, you know, like a toner.
Yeah.
And one is for moisturizing and cleansing. So do that first.
Okay, one doesn't cancel out the other.
No.
Okay.
So I think they're like, oh, every time I use my purple shampoo, my hair's so dry. And I hate that. You can mix it. Yeah. And make your moisturizing shampoo. And if you feel like, whenever I purple shampoo my hair is like tangled and stuff, I would even condition before. Okay. Yeah, just to make it easier on you. Yeah. And also emulsify it really well. Because once you guys just put it in one spot and you don't emulsify it really well with your hands, wherever you put it, it's going to be more toned than the rest of your hair.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
there's a lot of skill. Yeah. And also, like, if you really feel like everything you do, your hair's not getting toned enough, you just might need a toner. Like.
Yeah. So just flat out just book the service and get the toner and call it a day. Can't rely on a shampoo to do it all.
Yes. It's just maintenance. It's very sheer. It's not a facial, you know? Yeah. It's just, I would say that. But buy a dark silver or violet shampoo. I think it's pretty. And then dilute it with your moisturizing shampoo. Okay. To a little bit every day so you don't have to feel like you're doing all at once.
Great. And that'll just keep it looking just more fresh and keeps that yellowiness out of there so it doesn't look like Barbie doll hair.
You know, and you know what? Barbie doll hair is coming in.
I saw that. I did see a little something online about that.
Loving the beige, the gold, the old money, Marilyn Monroe blonde before they had toners. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. And on some people's skin, if you have, I would like to say, if you have cool skin tone, the yellow looks amazing. Wow. You don't even have the purple shampoo.
Yeah. So is that something you discuss with your clients too? Like what shade of blonde would be best for their skin tone?
Yes, I think like sometimes they know like what I recommend, but sometimes they just like what they like.
True story.
And then they come in, you know, sometimes very natural, barefaced, and I'm like, what's your day-to-day look like? And if they're like full glam, like you can have whatever hair you want because when you're full glam, the hair is just an accessory, right?
You got that right. That's how I feel. I'm like, okay, we got the summer cut, but we'll just make sure that the makeup always looks pretty.
But I feel like being blonde also helps you have a little bit of a glow to you. Like, I don't wear as much makeup when I'm blonde than when I'm dark. Oh, because the contrast, right? You have to match your contrast.
Absolutely.
So when you're blonde, you can get away with wearing less.
Now, I have to know, though, like, because you're blonde, too, do you do it yourself or is there someone you trust to do yours?
I have so many people I trust. Okay. Like, thankfully. But right now, Cassie at the salon does my hair. She's my little salon sister. She's the only other Vietnamese girl there. Okay. So I think it helps, like, we're brainstorming sometimes. And she's like, I'm like, Cass, do my hair. I'll tell you my technique. So it's kind of like, nice. We're like, or she's like, can I try this on you? I went to a class and I want to try it on you.
I love the camaraderie. Like, yes, I just love how you guys are so about boosting each other up, you know? And if you can't do something, you're like, wait, we have someone here.
Amy loves
who can take care of that.
Amy loves being my mannequin. She has amazing hair.
Amy has beautiful hair.
Amazing hair.
She has beautiful hair, beautiful eyes. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. All of y'all are so cute. It's just like, when people walk in there, I'm sure they're probably overwhelmed because they're like, everybody's beautiful. Everybody's so well put together. So it's like, it makes you want to step up your game before you walk in that space.
Oh my God. No, my clients love it because it feels like walking into, I don't know, just with a bunch of sisters, you know, we have to pull ourselves away from the break room after work. Like, literally.
My sister loved it. She's gone to see Jay. She went and did a consult with Jay. And if I'm not mistaken, she has an appointment either today or tomorrow where she's going and Jay's so going to go ahead and do her hair. So yeah, she loves it because we all have curly hairs. My daughters are curly. So so like Jay is our girl.
My niece is biracial. So whenever she's of age, I will send her to Juanita.
She's just That Juanita, she's incredible.
She is, and she's so cute.
Yeah, Jay's Beauty, guys, follow her. I just love her. I had to have her on here for a curly specialist because I was like, no, girl, you're on here for me. I have my own questions right here that I need to ask you.
I've never met a curl specialist before in any other salon.
I know, right? Me either. She is literally the best.
It was a breath of fresh air because I don't have curly hair. I have so many questions.
Right.
And Amy has curly hair, but she's like she still always worked against her texture with the blowouts and stuff.
Yeah, she does.
And Juanita is just like
goes with it.
She's just like so much knowledge and so much passion into what she does too. Yeah. And I love to be able to refer her or like honestly brainstorm like, hey, I'm blonding this girl and her hair texture is like this. What do you think? Yeah. And it's such a blessing to be in in an environment where you can do that. Yeah. Just like go to your coworker and they have their own background, their own experience, and they're willing to share with you. Yeah. And they're not snobby and they're not. There's no gatekeeping.
You guys support each other.
We do, and I love it. Yeah. That's why I'm like, how can I leave?
You can't.
I can't leave.
You can't tell them you can't do it. You're not taking her away from us.
I had to ask Limaris to renew my contract. Like I had to hunt her down. I'm like, hey, you haven't sent me your leash. And she's like, oh, I've been so busy with the new salon. I'm like, no, you got to send me your lease. I'm signing another year.
Well, good for you. Absolutely. And I love that everybody loves being in that space and working from her to create that kind of, environment. Man, it's not easy. And I just think she's got the right mindset of people that are there, all these strong business women.
I wish that for every single independent contractor is for you to find your space.
Yeah, find your tribe and just be able to be in there and just not that you're necessarily working together, but you're just supporting each other while running your own businesses. It's literally the best of both worlds. That you get to be an entrepreneur and also feel like you're a part of this amazing team. Yes. Yeah. So that's so cool. Well, please tell everybody how they can find you and how they can book with you.
You guys can find me on Instagram, YumiNguyen.beauty, and you can book with me through my DMs. Easiest way. You see my portfolio there. I usually respond to texts within 24 hours. Okay. And for text consultations, which are always welcome and absolutely free, you just send me some photos and what you like and your hair history and your budget and everything like that. And I can always work with you.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, my darling, for being here. This was amazing. Such a great conversation. You taught me so much. So I greatly appreciate it. I know my clients that will be listening will learn a lot too. And I'm sure I'm going to get some butts in your chair, my darling.
My God, I hope so.
So you guys can find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio. Check us out on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcast. And we thank you so much for listening and watching. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.